Happy birthday! Got the Vevor 36 volt, also branded as the Blitzshark 36 volt electric dirt bike. Bubby boy just turned 6 years old, and as you can see, you can't quite touch the ground with both feet, or not even close. All right, stop, put your foot down. So he has to put one foot down and then his other leg's way up in the air. So I got my measuring tape. We'll give you guys a measurement if you're thinking about this for your kid. Just kind of know the size. Right off the bat, here, let's put the kickstand down. Right off the bat, I'll say a few things about it. After demoing it myself and then having him ride it, the rear shock is very cheap. So while it does have a rear suspension, you can feel every bump, but it's also just a heavy steel frame bike, so I'm not sure exactly what the difference would be if we would put a better shock in there. I'm probably going to try and see. This is my first battery mod, so that obviously is not original. What it does have though is just the metal plate underneath, so if you wanted to switch it to a chain drive instead of a hub drive, it comes with the hub motor, which is actually kind of nice. You don't have to do any chain maintenance, worry about oiling your chain, etc. But if you wanted to mod it and do a faster motor, bigger battery setup, whatever, it does have the mounting plate. The Blitzshark model, which I think is sold in Australia and maybe in the US, has the electric motor with the chain in the stock form. But this one from Vevor in Canada has the hub motor. It does have the variable half throttle. I don't really love the grips. You could easily change it to just a normal grip without this, I'm not sure what you call that, but the part that sticks out. But it does have a variable throttle similar to a Razor electric dirt bike. And then your battery indicator, which is really nice. And the battery indicator also works with the drill battery setup, which I'll show you the wiring for that in a minute. But no front shock in the front, unlike some of the Razor dirt bikes, which, yeah, this is bigger than a MX350, as you could tell with him sitting on it. I'm not sure, I haven't had the 500 or the 650, but definitely the wheel size is like the MX350, just 10-inch rims. But I think they're 10s, but yeah, it says 10, 2.50, 10 is the tire size. But the height is definitely bigger than your Razor MX350. So yeah, it's a stretch for little kids. Like I said, he just turned 6 and he can't even get both feet on the ground yet, but yeah, he'll grow into it. So you could do a front fork mod, you could do a rear shock mod, and then a battery mod if you want to get this thing a little more souped up. And the seat, although it looks nice, could probably use, yeah, I could use a higher quality seat. Especially with a bigger person like me sitting on it, you can feel the metal underneath. But what else? So yeah, we'll show you the wiring mod I did in a little, but first we'll just show you what it looks like stock. So here's what it looks like for a 175-pound person to ride it. I think I did a GPS test, speedometer test, and top speed was 13 miles an hour on the flat, so pretty decent. Yeah, decent little bike for going to the post office or whatever, but if you're doing any off-roading, you want to get a better shock setup and a faster motor. Just pretty slow off-road for a 175-pound person, but for a small kid, it's great, especially for learning on. And yeah, your butt just feels every bump. off-road. But yeah, I'm happy with it. The reason I picked it is because it was cheaper in Canada, or about the same as an MX350, and it has a better battery. It's 36 volt instead of 24 right off the bat. So definitely there's some features, a rear shock, if you ask me, that make it better than the MX350. And for a similar price in Canada, I chose this. So yeah, let me show you the battery mod, and then I'll put some links down in the description for the Blitzshark page, and there's a couple of videos of assembling it and stuff like that. Haven't seen any YouTube videos for the Vevor branded bike, but it's the exact same bike, except I think the Blitzshark does come with a front spring shock fork, whereas this one does not, and then a chain drive instead of a hub drive, so a few differences. But all right, so here's your stock wiring setup. You would have two, what would that be? Two 20 volt batteries, 18 volt batteries to make 36. And they're sealed lead acid, pretty heavy, pretty big. Got your little 20, I think it's 24, should be 36, but controller up there, fuse. Some of the wiring is going back to the hub motor, and then some of it's going up to the just on-off switch and your battery indicator. So all I did to do the drill battery mod, which is not giving it any more volts, it's just giving it twice the runtime. So I do not turn this on until the lead acid battery is depleted. So basically I run my normal lead acid batteries with nothing on here. So right now there's nothing in here, no batteries. And when this, with the normal batteries, would come down to 1. So basically these are done and need recharging. Then I pop in my two 5 amp hour DeWalt knockoff drill batteries, 220 volts. Again, nominal voltage is like 18, so that's 36 with 2 of them. And now I have, the light comes back up to full, and I got another 20-30 minutes of runtime, however long this lasts. So that's the mod. I just used a Tupperware with some black tape and drilled 2 holes in the Tupperware, as you can see there. Put zip ties right around the metal kind of motor mounting plate there. So yeah, works out pretty good. Haven't used it in the rain or the mud yet, but I'm pretty sure this waterproof setup will work pretty good. This is a Betty Crocker. Cut out the Tupperware a little bit for the wiring that I got, I think, at Dollarama, but you can measure the motor mounting plate and your size here. So there's what your 5 amp hour DeWalt 20 volt knockoff battery looks like. So we'll put 2 of those in, show you what that looks like. All right, so there they are installed. That's what it looks like. We'll put the cover on. Last thing I forgot to mention, I did put a PC. I did put an old piece of yoga mat underneath the Tupperware, taped it on in between the metal and the Tupperware, so that gives it a little bit of cushion when you're hitting bumps and stuff. Mostly the batteries would be completely fine. With small little bumps, I was just thinking more of the Tupperware cracking. I just wrapped it around with packing tape, clear packing tape, and then some black kind of Gorilla tape. T-Rex tape, actually. It's even better than Gorilla. Anyways, there you go. Really easy battery compartment with a Tupperware. I'll put the link in the description for the DeWalt battery adapters. Comes with 2 30 amp, or each one has a 30 amp fuse. Yeah, we rode it around today and it was fine. Didn't blow those. If you do need to access them, one of them's hanging out here. The other one just slides right through there. I did open up that hole a little bit more just to get the fuse in and out. The fuse block kind of looks like that, so I'm not gonna pull it out right now, but if I need to check the fuse, that's easy to do. The rest of the DeWalt adapter wiring, I just tucked under here with some zip ties. Zip ties are always your friend when doing cheap mods. Used one of those little solder heat shrink connectors for that. But yeah, let me show you how I soldered in the battery wiring so that we can use stock, and then the drill batteries when the stock runs out. All right, so basically I just did a splice into the factory wiring. So originally you just had the one thin wire coming out of here, the red. Oh, you trying to talk to your brother? Yeah, brother's on the ATV. He's got the other walkie-talkie. So this thin little wire, surprisingly how thin it is the stock. Then I came with the DeWalt red adapter. So there's the stock. So basically snip the stock in half and then splice in your DeWalt battery adapter before the fuse. And then Daddy's right here, baby. I'm right next to you. Okay, we're not gonna do that because brother's riding the ATV. And then with the black wiring, you actually had two coming up. One of them goes to the battery on off, and the other one goes to the motor, the two ground wires, or I should say negative wires. So that splice was a little more complicated because you had two going this way, two going that way, and then the one DeWalt lead. I just put green on to kind of remind myself. So yeah, when wiring two batteries in series, obviously you can Google it really easy. You just do the first red to your positive terminal coming out of here, your first black to your next red. So one black is connected to one red on your adapters, and then the second battery adapter's negative black comes in, splices into this black. So that's your setup. Really easy to take engine cover on and off. Just 5 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pop it back on and go for a ride. So that last completely cheap mod. Just put a little flashlight underneath here because it did not come with a headlight, although the wiring, or sorry, the spot for it is there. You could put a little bulb in there, but you'd have to wire it up to batteries. Flashlight is so much easier. So, all right, here's some measurements for you. So your seat height, you're looking at about 24 inches, 24 to 25. Bar height, you're looking at about 31 inches. Wheelbase, approximately 44 inches. Let's do the width of the seat. Looking at about 6 inches, 5.5. So there you go. Hopefully those measurements help you as you size it up for your kids. All right, let's go get a snack. So there you go. Hopefully this helps you out. If you're thinking about purchasing one of these, I think it's a great first electric dirt bike for your kid. Yeah, plenty of opportunity to mod it, and pretty cheap entry point at about 500 Canadian bucks. I'll put the link in the description for where I bought it on eBay and a couple other links that I've mentioned. All right, we'll catch you on the next one.